YouTube and welcome to my channel. I'm Lauren and this is my first YouTube video. I'm a little bit nervous, as I'm sure you can tell. But I decided to start off with a Q&A, so I thought we'd get straight into it. My friend sent me a whole lot of questions to answer for this video. Some of them a little strange, I will be honest. Some of them quite cool. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's get started with the first question. The first question is, how would you describe your fashion aesthetic? So I tend to gravitate towards neutrals and wearing as neutral clothing as possible just because of how versatile it is and how easy it is to transition from season to season. However, I am a big fan of colors, especially red and orange, and so I do have a lot of bright colors like that in my cupboard as well. Although I would love to say that I only wear neutrals, the reality of it is that I really don't. So I'd say I go for comfort, but if I were to describe the aesthetic of my fashion in one word, I'd probably say chaotic. Next question, best food for a hangover. So anyone that's a Vast here in Pretoria will probably know this, but definitely without a doubt a chip batty from Basti Bakery. If you haven't tried that, try it, it's beautiful. It's basically a hot dog roll with cheese, chips and hot dog sauce, I think. I don't think there's anything else on there. I might be wrong, but I think that's about it. What is my favorite movie? So this is a very hard question for me to answer because I probably have a favorite for every genre that I watch on a regular basis. So my all-time favorite, probably The 10 Things I Hate About You. It just spoke to me in my childhood, will always be my favorite movie. Heath Ledger is beautiful. But more recently I have watched the movie Rebecca. Absolutely loved that, loved the cinematography in it, was absolutely to die for. So definitely give both of those movies a watch if you haven't seen either of them. My current favorite book. So I am one of those sinful people that reads multiple books at once. So I'm currently reading 4 books. I am reading I'm a Hitman and Talking to Strangers, probably the most regularly out of the 4. My current favorite out of those 2, I probably wouldn't be able to decide. They're such different genres, such different storylines. If you're into more of like a crime sort of thing, definitely go for I'm a Hitman. If you want something that's more life related, I guess, then go for Talking to Strangers. I love the way that it's written, so definitely look into that if you like books that are uniquely written, I guess. What are my upcoming travel plans? So obviously with the pandemic, not many people have been able to travel, and that has really been the bane of my existence. I absolutely love traveling and exploring new places and seeing new things, and so my mom and I are currently planning a trip for January. As South Africans, we need visas for most places, so waiting for visas to come through and then we'll hopefully be booking it, but we're looking at going to the UK and the US if everything goes ahead. What are the aims of this channel? So my friends for the longest time had told me to start a YouTube channel, and I attempted to in my first year of varsity. I'm now in my 3rd year, at the end of my 3rd year, and I have kind of finally got the confidence to do it, and I'd love to just be able to look back at my life and have all of these videos that have captured every moment from this point on. So yeah, mainly just to capture my happiest moments in my life and well, not necessarily happiest, but the moments in my life that I want to document and want to remember for later on. Next question. What is your go-to relaxing activity? So, usually a hot bath, a book, and a glass of wine is my go-to. But as I'm sure many of you will know, most apartments do not come with baths. So I've had to sacrifice that go-to relaxing activity and come up with something new. So I'd probably say painting with some music, or just sitting and reading and listening to some chill music. I think it's so important to take time away from work and to do something that is completely different to anything you do on a regular basis as your relaxing activity, so that you kind of detach from that environment that's causing a lot of stress for you at the moment. Next question is, how many rats have you seen in New York City? So for those of you that don't know, I've been to New York twice, in 2018 and in 2019, and absolutely fell in love with the city. It is my dream to live there one day. How many rats have I seen? I'd probably say around 6. Honestly, like, you don't really look for them when you're walking around the city, but they're definitely there, so take that into account, if you will. What animal are you most scared of? I am petrified of snakes, like absolutely petrified of them. Do not put one near me, do not make me watch a snake show, do not make me go to a house where someone has a pet snake. They're not for me. Snakes are not my thing, so definitely a snake. What experience would you like to be able to do, and what's one that you would like to do again? So I'd really love to travel to Nepal and hike to base camp. It has been on my bucket list for like the longest time, I think since I was like 14, 15. So definitely want to do that. And then what's one that I would like to do again? I would love to go back to the Met in New York. I've been twice now, and I feel like you can go every single day of your entire life in New York and you'll still see something new whenever you go there. So I absolutely love that about the Met. It's definitely an experience I would love to have again. Maybe with a bit of luck I'll get to go back to the Met beginning of next year. What's my favorite TV show? So this is also a very hard question to answer. I really enjoy crime shows, so Criminal Minds. I really enjoyed CSI Cyber. Don't know if that carried on. I think we only got 1 season of it in South Africa. I might be wrong. Prodigal Son, FBI. I love watching shows that are based in New York so I can see the city while I'm watching and see some familiar places as well. Grey's Anatomy, standard, of course, that had to be on there. And then more recently I just finished Squid Game. That was also exceptionally exceptional. And yeah, I would definitely recommend it. There are lots of shows that I watch. I kind of just hop onto trends and see if I enjoy it or not, and if I don't, then I don't, and I stop watching. What's my favorite meal to cook? So I actually prefer baking to cooking, but I will answer both, I guess, baking and cooking. Favorite thing to bake, I absolutely love making cupcakes, and I love how individualized you can make each cupcake when you're decorating it. And then cooking, I would probably say pasta. There's this really good bacon, chicken and mushroom pasta that I make. Absolutely to die for, would recommend. If you guys want the recipe to that or want me to do a video regarding that pasta recipe, leave it in the comments. Where do I get my news? So I use 3 main news sources. I use News24, which is the South African based news source, pretty much one of the main news sources in South Africa. Then for more international news, I use BBC, and then for US specific news, I use the New York Times. Should probably be using a slightly bigger news broadcaster than the New York Times, but that's what I do. I love their crossword puzzles. I absolutely live for them. What are my red flags? So one of my friends asked me this question and I did not know how to answer this. So I asked my friends to send in a whole lot of things that they thought might be considered a red flag. So what I got back was that I have a disproportionate amount of male friends, which is apparently a red flag. So that. I also will randomly get into yoga poses when I'm not feeling comfortable. So if I'm working and I really am not feeling comfortable at my desk, I'll get up and do some yoga poses to try and make myself feel a little bit more comfortable. And then I definitely say my need for things to be in specific places can sometimes be a red flag. I'm quite fussy about where things go in my apartment and in my space. I don't really mind if it's someone else's space, but in my space it's something that's really important to me. What is my dream job? So this is a very heavy-weighted question at the moment. I am currently in my 3rd year of my law degree, and I have one more year after this. And so most of you would presume that my dream job would be to become an attorney or an advocate or do something along those lines, but honestly, no. At the moment I am looking into going into either something to do with criminology and cybersecurity and digital forensics and that area of things, or going into journalism or publishing and that aspect of things. Ideally, I would love to work in academia. I love the flexibility of it. I love the ability to do research, the changing environments, like the new people that you're constantly meeting and engaging with. So I think that's something that would, I guess, be my dream job, is to either be in academia or work in an environment that's flexible, that is constantly changing, and that I feel confident in. Yeah, I would say that would be my dream job. So not necessarily a specific job, but more of a work environment than anything else. What are 3 words to describe yourself? So I probably use outgoing, adaptable, and independent as 3 words to describe myself. What is my favorite place to travel to in South Africa? So this is quite a tough one. I've grown up in a very diverse province in South Africa where we literally have everything from the beaches to the mountains to the game reserves to we even get snow there. So I would definitely say one of my favorite places to travel to in South Africa is one of the game reserves in KwaZulu-Natal, which is the province that I'm from, that my family goes to on a regular basis. It's called Hluhluwe and Mfolozi. Absolutely love that game reserve, love all the times I've had there with my family, and definitely a beautiful place. If you're going to travel to South Africa, then I would definitely stop by that game reserve.